Welcome to the tutorial on Google Sheets, formatting data and writing algorithms, the basics. These are the skills that we'll be covering. Feel free to jump ahead to these times to see that particular topic. Our end product is going to look something like this. We're going to create a sheet that calculates a sum, an average, and a couple other things. So we're going to start with a list of data. You're going to want to make two columns with whatever your input and output are. So my input in this case is the weeks, and my output is t-shirts that I'm selling. Now, some things you want to know: how to quickly format all data or edit all cells in a Google Sheet. Click this little gray rectangle in the corner, and it allows you to manipulate all the cells at once. So I just adjusted all the column widths. I just adjusted all of the row heights. I'm going to put it back to how it was. All right, and if I wanted to make everything bold, everything italicized, everything a different color, etc., this is how you would do it. All right, moving on. Let's just bold the titles here. Let's say I want to create a sum of all the t-shirts that I sold. You do equals, click on any cell you want to start. I picked this one, and type equals sum and then open parentheses. Okay, or you can just find, once you hit equals, it allows you to search for recently used algorithms. You can also just type in the word sum. It's going to be in the list here. So there's sum. It makes the open parenthesis for you, and then you select the data that you want to sum. I want to sum the total number of t-shirts. So I might call this total t-shirts. All right. Then this one I'm going to call the average per week. Okay, so I want to know what is the average per week of t-shirts I sold. You're going to type equals average and find it in the list there. It's going to make an open parenthesis for you. Select all the numbers you want to average. So I click and drag 37.5. All right, so I want to format this a little bit. I want those to be bold. I want everything to be centered, so I'm going to click in this gray rectangle and center everything. Okay, I might have to adjust this so I can read the whole word. All right. Total number of t-shirts, 225. Average per week, 37.5. Now, let's say that format didn't make sense to me. You can't have half of a t-shirt. So I'm going to go to Format. I'm going to go to Number, and I'm going to pick the rounded format. Now, the rounded format here has no decimals. This has 1 decimal. So I'm going to pick this, and it's going to round it up to 38 because that makes more sense that I sold 38 t-shirts. Next, I'm going to make a column called Revenue. And this is going to show you how to take an entire set of data and do an operation to it. So not add them together, not average them, but do some other operation like multiply. Okay, because revenue is calculated by taking the number of items sold times the cost of that item. So if I do equals sum again, and I take the number of t-shirts I sold for the first week and multiply it by however much the t-shirts cost. In this case, I'm going to say $8, and I'm going to include the dollar sign in my calculation, and it will not recognize the dollar sign. All right, this is a lesson in programming. You need to understand the language that the computer speaks. It's like speaking English to a Spanish speaking person. You need to speak the same language. Likewise, I can't use X for times. The computer doesn't recognize it. It's going to tell me an error. So you're going to want to use an asterisk and just put 8, and I'll show you how you get that dollar sign eventually into the equation. So we made $40 that first week because it did 8 times 5. Now, if you ever want to verify what formula the computer is using to calculate, because right now it just says 40. It's like, well, how did you get that? Look up here in the algorithm function toolbar. It's telling you what it did. It's doing C4, so that's column C, row 4. That's this cell. It also highlights it for you, which is kind of cool. It's taking cell C4 and doing times 8. Okay? Now, the format for this, I want it to be a dollar amount. So notice they have different formats. We want currency, and we want it rounded because I don't really care about the cents. I just want the whole dollar amount. Now, if I wanted to do this for every week, it would be a little tedious because I'd have to do equals sum again, click on 10, and then do times 8, hit enter, change the format to currency. This is kind of tedious. I'm not going to keep doing it this way. Watch this. There's a better way to do this. Click on the cell. We want this formula essentially to be copied into the rest of the cells. Watch this. I'm going to click this little box and drag. So you're clicking the corner of the box and you're dragging it down. So what that does is it copy and pastes the formula that you used and the formatting, so the currency formatting, into each of these cells and applies it to the corresponding cell. And if you want to double check your formulas, just click. How did they get 960? Well, look up here. They did C9 times 8. C9 times 8, 120 times 8. There you go. Okay, now I'm going to repeat this. I want to take the sum of all my revenue and the average of all my revenue. Watch this. I'm just going to copy and paste these 4 cells over here. Check that out. What it just did was it totaled, this is now t-shirt revenue, and average per week in revenue. For some reason, it did not copy the, see, notice that. It didn't copy the money formatting because it's not money now. This is actual 300, hold on, now I'm confused. Oh, this is it should be money though. So it didn't copy as money formatting because over here this was 38 t-shirts per week. So it copied that formatting. We want this to be money. So you're gonna have to change that to currency. Now it's $300 per week is what I averaged in my sales, and the total revenue I made was $1,800. Okay, let me just make sure that's all I wanted to cover. Yes, thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed this and learned something. Have a great day.